I've been hurting, I've been searching, I can't look no more. With those eyes and that nice smile, girl, I can't.
What's good, y'all? It's another week, so it's another video, like I said it would be. So this week I wanted to talk about love languages. So I already know a good bit about love languages, and I'm going to share that. However, while I was researching love languages, I learned some interesting things, and I want to share that as well. So I'm excited. Let's get into it. So in 1992, Gary Chapman wrote his first book on love languages. Gary was actually a marriage counselor, so it was kind of his lane anyway. The book, it basically suggests that every single individual has a primary form of communication and way of feeling loved. So you got to think of the words in itself. A love language, in essence, is how you show love as well as how you like to receive it, how you're most responsive. Now, even though the book was written years ago, you know, people still look to that book for knowledge, for insight, and not just for relationships either, for friendships, business partnerships, any type of connection that you can make with an individual. A love language can and probably will come into play. So originally there were 5 love languages, okay? We got physical touch, we got quality time, acts of service, receiving gifts, and words of affirmation. Those are the 5 original ones. Now let's get into that a little bit. Let's just talk about that first. And let me just say, I am a firm believer that when someone asks you what your love language is, your answer should be all of them. I feel like all of them should be required. I'm speaking for romantic relationships. Like, all forms of love, although they might not mean the same thing to you, it may not give you that same level of love feeling that you want. I feel like all of them should be required in a romantic relationship, because the minute that you're not showing love in a specific way, it will be noticed in a romantic relationship, because it's based on love. So it's like, how could you not? How could you not do all of these things? And I don't think it's a hard ask either. I don't think it's crazy to require all the languages of love in a relationship. I don't. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody's love language, their primary love language, is different. It varies. However, it's levels to it, and I need every level. Me, I need all of it. Your primary love language is what you respond to the most. It's what gets you going the most. It's what makes you feel the most loved. Let's just say myself. My primary love language is physical touch. All right? Followed by, and it's a very close call with these two for me. Physical touch is here. Acts of service is right up under it, like literally like that. Physical touch, acts of service. But that does not mean that you touching me and hugging on me and kissing me is gonna satisfy me every time. It's just what I respond to the most. You know, it's what gives me the most comfort. And it also doesn't mean that I don't want any gifts, I don't want any quality time, I don't want any words of affirmation. It doesn't mean that. That's why I say all of it. In a relationship, all of it should be required, because you're gonna feel it when it's not happening, you know? Just really trial and error, trying to show that person that you love them in the way that you know to show it, versus showing that person that you love them in the way that they need it. They need to receive it in a certain way. And once you get into a relationship and you learn your person, you'll quickly learn what their primary love language is. You'll be able to physically see it. You'll be able to see how they feel about certain things. If you get them a gift, how they react versus, just spending a whole day with them, or you cooking for them, how they react to that versus you telling them sweet nothings in their ear, And everybody's love language is different. So it's really like a trial and error thing. I think it's really important to find out your partner's love language, because honestly, you could be showing them that you love them in the deepest way that you could possibly fathom. They could receive it in the way that you're giving it, but they're not you. So how are you to know that the way that you're giving your love is the way that they want to receive it? And of course, when it comes to partnerships, of course they're going to receive it, but could you do more? All right, let's talk about physical touch. It's so annoying to me how people can sometimes look at the language of physical touch. Physical touch is not just sex. It's not. Physical touch is physical touch. You're physically touching somebody, If you're sitting down next to your partner and they're reading a book, you go sit down next to them, put your arm around them, physical touch. When you're walking by them, slap them on the ass, physical touch. Like, there's so many ways to express that love language other than sex. And I think a lot of people assume that that love language is just that, when it's not. When you assume that the language of physical touch is just about sex, and you're with a partner whose primary love language is physical touch, and you think having sex all the time is just gonna make them, it's so love. Like, we gotta be more intentional with the way that we show love to people. You cannot just be like, oh, you like physical touch. Like, it's not just that. It's really not. And it's really ignorant to think that, okay? It's ignorant to think that. Honestly, it is. But it is also sex. I'm not even gonna lie. It's also sex too. So, don't forget that, but don't just do that, Let's move on. Quality time. Let's talk about quality time. Quality time is important, I think, to a lot of women. I feel like the way that men get the immediate physical touch rep, women get the immediate quality time rep. In Chapman's book, he talks a lot about quality time, and it's not as simple as just sitting around with your partner doing nothing. Quality time. It's not just spending time with your partner. Undivided attention, actively learning about each other, talking about our futures, talking about us, getting us right, keeping us good on track. Quality time is spending intentional time with your partner. Now, I'm not saying that, going for a walk together or something of that nature isn't enough. But by the book definition, quality time is quality. That means, it's up there. We're not just doing nothing right now. We're doing something intentional for us. I think a lot of people assume that quality time is such an easy love language because they amount it to just being around their partner. But it's more than that. It really is. It really is. And the deeper you get into quality time, honestly, the more you will learn about your partner. So quality time is really important in romantic relationships. Me and my baby, we have a lot of quality time moments where we talk about us and we talk about how things can be better, what we can work on. That is quality time to me. And those moments mean a lot to me because at the end of those moments, I feel more secure in my relationship. I feel safer. I feel like I know where we're going with it, So I think it's a very important love language to learn Even if your partner's primary love language is not quality time, it's still a good practice to have. That quality time is very, very important. And if you are in a relationship and you don't have a lot of quality time, you should talk to your partner about it. Tell them, I think we need to spend some quality, intentional time talking about us. Simple. It's simple, but it's not. All right, let's keep going. Words of affirmation. This used to be my primary love language. When I was younger, it was definitely up there. And I think it had a lot to do with just me wanting to hear sweet things, wanting to hear I love you, or wanting to hear you look so beautiful today, Now that I'm older, it's definitely fallen a couple notches down. I think it's like the next to last. The last time I took the test, words of affirmation was like next to last for me. But I will say, whenever my love tells me things, or like she calls me beautiful, and she tells me I'm pretty, and she just like fills me with beautiful words and just nice things to hear, it makes me feel so good. Like, so good. It's ridiculously good. And it's like so random when she does it. So it's like, you were really thinking that. Words of affirmation can change an individual's day. It can change the way that they're feeling in the moment. That just goes to show how important words of affirmation is in a romantic relationship. Just like bad words can hurt you, good words can make you feel oh so good. Like, especially hearing it from someone that you love. If my mom was to text me right now and be like, baby, you are so beautiful, I love you so much, I will bust out crying. Not only is it you that's saying this to me, but you're saying this to me, Words of affirmation is probably one of the most beautiful love languages, because however it is expressed, it makes you feel good. And whatever words that your partner could possibly come up with, it's like, thank you. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, it's sweet. It just makes you feel good. It makes you feel like they're thinking about you, that they've been thinking about you, that they miss you, It makes you feel wanted. It makes you feel heard. It makes you feel seen, Like, words of affirmation can do a lot for a person, for a relationship, for a business partnership, family. Words of affirmation can do a lot for people. Words of affirmation make you feel good. It's as simple as that. It just makes you feel good, And who doesn't want to feel good? Words of affirmation is important, guys. But let's keep it going. Next, this is my favorite, acts of service. As I said before, the older I get, the more I care about this love language. I'm starting to realize the older I get, the more important it is for your partner to do that, and for you to be able to do that as well. Acts of service is something serious, man. Acts of service is something serious. I feel like that love language is a double whammy too. It's like you're doing things on your own for me. I'm not included in it, but you're doing it for me. I don't have to be there in order for you to do something for me. Like, that's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Whenever I leave, if I come back, my baby done cleaned up, done cooked, my dog just sitting there waiting on me. Like, all my babies just sitting there waiting on me. The house is clean, it smell good. Like, y'all, there's no better feeling than that. I'm telling you, it's no better feeling than that. Imagine waking up and being like, ugh, damn, I gotta clean that bathroom today. You go in the bathroom and it's clean. That's like screaming, like, I love you, I love you, I love it. It's like screaming it. It's like screaming it. I wasn't there to do it with you, but you still did it on your own. Like, you still did that. You did that for me without me even knowing. You didn't tell me or anything. Like, you did it out of love. It's literally like, that love language is so powerful to me. And I also think that's one of my primary ways of showing love is through acts of service. I do a lot. And I'm always trying to do something. I'm always trying to find something that needs to be done. And I don't have a problem doing it because I love her. I love her. I'll do whatever she needs me to do. I tell her that almost every day. I'll do whatever she needs me to do. And I think it's a Southern thing, honestly. We talked about this. Me and my girl talked about this. We talked about how it's probably like a Southern thing, the whole acts of service, like doing everything. Like, I think about my granddaddy. Sorry, I don't call him grandpa, papa, none of that. My granddaddy, he has been married to his wife for God knows how long. He does everything for that woman, okay? He does everything for her. She doesn't have to lift a finger if she don't want to. If she don't want to lift a finger, she ain't got to, because guess what? He will lift it for her. And I grew up seeing that dynamic, their dynamic, and I think I kind of mimicked that a little bit in my own relationship with the acts of service, just doing things that I see need to be done so she won't have to do it. That's literally what acts of service is. You're making your partner's day easier. You're making your friend's day easier. You're making your family member's day easier. You're taking something off their plate. It's one less thing for them to worry about. It's a beautiful thing. Like, it really is. I love acts of service. I love acts of service. One of my favorite love languages ever, because it shows a lot, especially when the individual is doing things that they don't want to do to make your day easier. Oh my God, this train is getting on my nerves. The train want to fight at this point. What the fuck? I saw a post on Facebook that said, Sunny D tastes like somebody made a bet that they could make orange juice without oranges. I think they won that bet. Cause this one, this smooth orange, bussin'. Anyway, acts of service is great. It's amazing. Love acts of service. Everyone should be doing this in relationships. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't, I don't know how they with your ass. Show me, do something. Do something. Like, you know, make me know it. Make me know it. That's like the vibe that it gives. Like, make me know it. So acts of service is great. All right, let's keep it moving. Receiving gifts. This one I used to not take seriously. I'll admit that for a long time I did not take receiving gifts as a serious love language. I really thought that that was just added on because people just be wanting shit. I don't know. People just be wanting shit. It's like, how can a gift make you feel loved? But then when I got into a relationship and I started receiving gifts from my partner, it started to make sense. When it comes to receiving gifts, I think it's a lot more into it than just buying something. Like, it's a lot to consider with that love language. You have to consider the individual, the situation that they're in. Of course, the gift, what the gift is. Like, is it sentimental? Is it something that you asked for that you didn't think they even took into consideration? Is it something random, you know, that you didn't ask for, but it's something that you would like? You know, is it something that's based on your interests, based on your passions? You know, like, Receiving a gift, depending on the type of gift that it is, can mean a lot to people. It really can. My baby got my ring. The first ring she got me, I definitely cried. This ring, I almost cried again. Like, that love language gets a bad rep sometimes because people assume, like, if your primary love language is receiving gifts, people can sometimes assume that you're just like greedy or you just want things. But sometimes that's just how people want to receive love. That's how they get it. You know, sometimes that's just how they get it. And receiving gifts doesn't necessarily mean you have to like go big or go home. Like I said, it can be something safe, small, sentimental. It can be something that means a lot to them and it won't like crush you. It's like that I love you is in physical form now. They can pick up that I love you. They can put that I love you on. They can wear that I love you. They can spin that I love you. They can look at that I love you. They can take a picture of that I love you and post that I love you on Instagram. They can do what they want to do with it because it's a physical representation and they have that now. See what I'm saying? I don't want to say the gift doesn't matter because to some people it does. But speaking generally, the gift shouldn't matter. Whatever that gift is, what it means is what matters. So when you have someone whose primary love language is receiving gifts, it can be something as small as like a card when you're at the store buying groceries and you're telling them you're gonna come back. Just get a card or a flower, come back home like, I got you something. I was thinking about you. It's a physical representation of I love you. And no shade, but I'm a firm believer that if you are in a relationship and you're waiting on birthdays and anniversaries and Valentine's Day to buy gifts, do better. Do better. Come out with some because it's Wednesday, because I love you. I was thinking about you. Like, come on, be creative. It shows that person that you're thinking about them. And yeah. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so now that we've talked about the original 5 love languages, I want to get into the new 7. I did not know there were 7 new love languages. I definitely recommend doing your own research with the new 7 love languages. I'm still researching them myself, so I'm not going to go in depth with them on this video. But I will list them out. The new 7 love languages are pretty like to the point. So you can probably gather from this video, you know, how to express these new 7 languages. So let's get into them. 1, activity. Appreciation is number 2. Emotional is the 3rd one. 4 is financial. 5. Number 5 is intellectual. I like this one. I like this one. 6 is physical. 7, the last new love language, is practical. Anywho, so those were all of the love languages, the original 5, in addition to the new 7. So honestly, it's all a form of communication. It's all coming down to how you communicate how you feel. For those who want to find out what their love language is, or if you took the test a couple years ago and you need a little refresher, you want to see if anything has changed, I'm going to post a link to the test. Just check down below and you'll be able to take the full quiz and figure out how you want to receive love. All right, take the test now. Take that test. All right, y'all. I had a really fun time with this one, so I hope you enjoyed it. Please, please, please do not forget to subscribe, hit that button, like my video, comment below. Thank you again, and I will see you next week.
I've been hunting, I've been searching, I can't look no more. With those eyes and that nice smile, girl, I can't.